Welcome into another video. Today I am going to go through a step-by-step process detailing how I cook and prepare kidney beans from scratch. And I'm going to do this with kidney beans that I grew in my own garden. So let's get into it. Okay, so like I said, these are kidney beans that I grew in my garden this past summer. So to start things off, I'm going to pour 2 cups of kidney beans into a clean bowl. Of course, these kidney beans coming from my garden naturally had some shell fragments in there and stuff like that, so I spent a little bit of time trying to pick some of those out. And then after that, I pour in 2 cups of water. Now you may want to add an extra half cup in there. It all depends on how much the kidney beans end up soaking up. But really, just while you're soaking these beans, just keep an eye on it. And if it looks like it needs more water early, definitely add in a little bit more water. The soaking and cooking process for the kidney beans can really be important. Uncooked kidney beans can contain the toxin phytohemagglutinin, also abbreviated as PHA. And it's important to process this toxin out. Too much of it can cause digestive distress like vomiting and stuff like that. Now, I have personally never had any issues with this by soaking it 8 to 10 hours and cooking it for at least an hour. And usually for me, at least the way I cook them, they take considerably longer than just an hour to cook. Okay, so the last time I had cooked these kidney beans, I had let them soak for about 8 to 10 hours. When I cooked them up in the morning, they took a while to cook, and they were still kind of hard, kind of dry on the inside. So today, I let these beans soak about twice as long, almost 24 hours before I cooked them up, because I wanted to see if that would help with the issue, help to soften up and hydrate the beans a little bit more. And then I just add in some more water for cooking, and I let it cook. I first bring it to a boil, and then I turn it down to a simmer on moderately low heat. And don't forget the lid. Once the kidney beans are cooking up pretty good, I make sure to stir them throughout the whole process so that they can cook a little bit more evenly and they don't get stuck to the bottom or anything like that. During the cooking process, you may find at a certain point that you might need to add a little bit more water, and if that seems to be the case, definitely do so. I think they took about 2 hours to cook. I don't totally remember, but the bottom line is that you cook them until you get them to the consistency that you want them to be at. And just make sure that you are near the stove and monitoring it so that you don't overcook them like I did today. So now that the beans are cooked, I just want to show a really quick down and dirty recipe on how you can make hummus in a pinch. And of course, I'm going to use the kidney beans in this context. The recipe can really just be as simple as you want it to be. Olive oil, vinegar, salt, and tahini. And then I mash it all up and I stir it all up to a consistency that I like. You can use a food processor if you want. But if you want a little bit more texture, or if you don't have quite as much time and you don't mind a coarser texture, a fork should work just as well, but maybe not a spoon. Now, I was also going to add in some garlic, but I ended up omitting that, simply because I forgot. Other times, commonly when I'm making this recipe, I really love to add in frozen garden peas. They really contribute a beautiful complement to the dish, and I just mash them right up with everything else that's in there. Last but not least, and just for a little bit of extra flavor, I added in some dried dill leaves and cumin. And that is a wrap for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it and that you learned something from it, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.